and they want to insure the livestock, they put a tag in the ear of the livestock, like cow and buffalo. And when the buffalo or cow died, the farmer cut their ear and go to the insurance company office for the claim that my cow has been died. And I'm the eyewitness that in my village, I saw a lot of cows without ear. It means the false claim was very high. But right now, what is the mechanism in Pakistan to insure the livestock? They put a GSM SIM in the stomach of the animal or livestock. And whenever is there any claim, they have to check either the heartbeat is running or not through their system. They find their geographical location through GPS and then have to settle their claim. It means the false claim has been reduced, which is ultimately the prices of the livestock product has been down. So InsurTech products is available in Pakistani Takaful industry and as well as the micro Takaful. That is the innovation of the Takaful industry in Pakistan. We have a very good micro Takaful product. By the way, we have one Takaful, one micro insurance product in Pakistan. You will surprised to know that the price of that product is less than £1. And in less than £1, which is about 195 Pak rupees, a husband and wife is covered for 5 benefits. The number 1, health. Number 2, maternity. Number 3, the disability, either partial or permanent. Number 4, the funeral expenses. If that poor person died, the Takaful company paid the funeral expenses. And number 5, the credit insurance. If that person died, whatever is the outstanding loan, it's supposed to be paid by the Takaful company to the microfinance bank. So within less than £1, a poor family is husband and wife is covered for 5 benefits. So in Pakistan we have a very good micro Takaful product. Again, the Banka Takaful product, which are channelized through Islamic banks, and then we have a specialized product for Islamic banking industry, because you know Islamic banks. Yes, thank you. Islamic banks need a specialized product for Murabia, for Salam and Istasna. So we have a specialized product for each segment of Islamic banking industry. Then we have some opportunities, as we have about 200 million population. Among them, 99% are Muslim, so demand is big. Government support and emerging trend of Islamic banking and finance, which is supporting the Takaful industry. And definitely we have some challenges as well. The wellness issue and human resource and capacity. In Pakistan, we have 21 universities who have master or post-master's program on Islamic banking and finance. But unfortunately, we didn't have any university who have a master or graduate program on Islamic insurance or risk management. So this is one of the issue. And in Pakistan, we have some issue limited investment avenues and the ReTakaful arrangement. For example, unfortunately in Pakistan, for 5-6 years, we didn't find the ReTakaful arrangement for terrorism. So none of the Takaful company can cover any airport or any hotels or building without the availability of the ReTakaful for such sector. So these are some challenges which are faced by Pakistani Takaful industry. Thank you very much.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're coming to the end of it. We got to hear from Indonesia, Malaysia, South Africa, and Pakistan. Hopefully these are 4 examples of countries where there is a successful Takaful experience. I'm looking forward to your questions to the panel here on anything that you guys have. If you don't, I have 100 questions for them, but let me start with the floor then. We have Mike.
Even though it had a 3% Muslim population, I'd be interested to know why you chose that as the first country outside your home territory. And if I may add a second question to you, Mr. Isaacs, How do you deal with markets in Africa that you plan to go into that do not have the supervisory or regulatory structure in place to deal with Takaful insurance? Do you work with these supervisory bodies, or do you set it up from new, or is it a non-issue for expansion in Africa?
You have to be careful, it's going to steal your idea.
So firstly, Botswana is an easy one because we have a footprint in Botswana already from a conventional perspective, which is Bryte. Bryte is represented in Botswana, so that makes it quite easy for us to move across in Botswana. At the same time, we are restructuring in South Africa, which means our Sharia board that we utilize in South Africa will be applied in Botswana as well. And we've already engaged the Muslim Association in Botswana, so that was quite an easy one for us to do. But the bigger question is, you might think, with such a small population, why? So the issue for us is that we've decided to go into Botswana to be able to test the theory and to test the philosophy in terms of not selling only to Muslim people, but to sell across the board to anyone who wants to buy a product that provides for Sharia compliance and ethical compliance. But we obviously got to be extremely careful how we position it. So that's part of the reason why we're going in there. So it is pretty much a test case for us in terms of what happens in Botswana, and the success of Botswana will actually give us indicators and direction as to how we should actually start moving in South Africa as well. The second part of the question, so yes, we see Africa as a potential opportunity, however, not at all cost. So we're not going to throw away the principles of how we want to go into any other area. It will be done correctly, properly, with a proper directive from the Sharia board. We come from a background that is international with Zurich International, and we still have what we call cross-border operations within certain African countries. Now, what it does mean for us is that there are partnerships there. So we can certainly utilize those partnerships that are available, but we will be very careful that the partnerships that we do utilize falls in line with the Sharia compliance issues, without a doubt. So we're not certainly going to look at any other operation without taking into account the correctness of our Sharia compliance needs to be rolled out.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much for your presentations. I have one question to our brother from South Africa. Your colleague actually, he showed me the app. And in terms of using the app, it was very user-friendly. Certainly more user-friendly than the apps I've seen here when I was getting house insurance and this, that, and the other. So can you tell us a bit more about your app? And in terms of your unique selling point, is your app one of those things? Because my friends in Tunisia, the biggest asset management, they've got into this. And for them, the technology actually is a unique selling point. The other question I have, actually, and it includes our chair as well, since he's batting on about Sudan, is the top 10 brands, for example, from Britain, and I know Professor Osman, he studied in London and so forth, so lots of people come and study here because we've got very good branding and top brands, so Shell, BP, Vodafone. Turning that on its head, do you think if the Brits somehow, not searching in Pakistan looking after cows, it might be too low income for us, but could we go and sell, as it were, insurance or British insurance, brand it as you like, halal, ethical, non-halal, whichever way, and sell it to penetrate your market, which is only one market? Can we sell it to Malaysia? Can we sell it to Sudan? Can we sell it to South Africa, leaving out Pakistan?
So
you beat them in cricket or something? You beat them in cricket, right? Okay.
So you get free insurance in Sudan as well. So I'll answer the first part of the question and allow the panel to give their views on the second part. So the first part of the question, in terms of the app, I think what is extremely vital in a changing society and in a changing world is that we move with the times. there's no question that digitalization has certainly taken over many operations, many industries. In South Africa, I must be honest with you, it has been slow to take off. We've been fortunate that with the support of Umair and his operations there, we've been able to implement an app right at the outset of the operations. What we have seen is that it has certainly benefited the customer. The customer is able to work with us via the app quite easily. They're able to obtain their information. They can go and have a look at what their policy information is all about. And now we believe it's time to expand on that app in terms of really taking it to the next level. Now, the next level means that the customer can go in, do his own insurance, and then push it straight through into our system. And that means that it will take out so much more work from the internal administration side, but at the same time, allow the customer the comfort of being able to do it from anywhere that he requires insurance at any point in time. At the same time, we want to expand that app to support the brokerages as well, because so that brokers can also utilize the app to be able to do what they need to do in terms of managing, assisting the customers, and providing a service to the customer that is quick, simple, and really seamless. So certainly our focus all around is on process and advancement from a technological point of view.
Yes, brother. Yeah, I understand. By the way, we have such application for travel insurance and some other insurance as well. But I would like to comment for the question of your brother, by the way. Yeah. Actually, the selling of Islamic financial product or Takaful product is a bit a tricky thing. I used to be working in more than 20 African countries related to Islamic banking and Takaful. But what I observe, in African countries, they have a lot of challenges for Islamic financial product. Let me compare South Africa with Nigeria. In Nigeria, the Muslim population is more than 60%. And when they introduce Islamic financial product, including Islamic banking, unfortunately, they introduce Islamic banking product as a religious product. And what is the scenario over there right now? One of the bank who is offering Islamic banking services over there, their 96% clients are only Muslim. Non-Muslim didn't adopt those products. Even Nigeria also have a more than 200 million population. It means the Islamic financial industry lost their 100 million population as a potential market. When you compare South Africa with Nigeria, the Muslim population in South Africa is less than 2%. But when they introduced Islamic banking product, they introduced Islamic banking product as a banking product, not a religious product. Therefore, one of the bank, they have their deposit, which are more than 65% who have a non-Muslim deposit. Even in UK, where Muslim population is about 5%, at Rehan Bank have a deposit, a non-Muslim deposit more than 80%. So it depends on how you introduce your Takaful product. If you introduce your Takaful product as a religious product, I don't think so. The non-Muslim community will jump in for those products. I was in Abuja, I saw one brochure of one banking product. They put the picture of Kaaba and mosque in their banking brochure. So what is the message for non-Muslim? That this is not our product. So it depends on how you will market your product. If you market your product as an insurance and banking product, it will be solution for all. If you market your product as a religious product, then you have to face limitation.
I think to add to this, just a little bit on I heard a presentation once. It's called Halalifying, the problem of Islam in general, Islamic finance, Islamic insurance. Do we really believe in the bank itself, that it's Islamic, or that it just calls it that for marketing reasons? And I think that as Muslims, we have a problem with that. And I think that's what comes off in Islamic banking, whether Rayan or etc., whether really Muslims believe in the product or not. The reinsurance issue that we talked about, we're Islamic insurance. We really don't focus on the reinsurance being Islamic or ReTakaful. we're looking at the best cost, best affordable, because our supervisor or sorry doesn't care. So again, if the regulation doesn't come online and the customer doesn't ask, then as businessmen in the middle will try to pocket the difference, and the religious side will take a side seat. So it's again what they're doing in South Africa is actually putting the belief system in place, and the customer believing in this whole thing to get out from this problem that we can say. I think we have time for one more question, if there's any more. No? Then I think we're good. I think you have another question? That is my older brother, so I have to take the question. I'm sorry.
I apologize. I do have one more question, but I didn't want to ask it in case I didn't want to take someone else's time. But actually, the question is for Mr. Mohammad. You had a very interesting comment. You said you have a product where approximate cost is about £1 and that gives a family in Pakistan 4 different product coverages. My question is this £1, is that a subsidized by the government, or is it a sustainable price for your company? That was my question. I know in a lot of poorer countries, £1 is actually a lot, but still, it's still £1.
It's £1.
Yes. This is basically £1 for 1 year with 5 benefits. Actually, the price of micro Takaful product depends on the distribution channel, that how you distribute your product. Basically, this product was made by one company, and they sell out that product to National Rural Support Program, which is the government-owned program that is not subsidized by the government, by the way. NRSP have 1 million clients. Insurance company design the product, sell out to microfinance bank, and microfinance sell out that product to all the client. Whenever they took the loan, £1 deducted from their amount. And whenever is any claim, the borrower put that claim at the branch of the microfinance bank, and they evaluate, send to the head office of the insurance company. They send the payment to the head office of the microfinance bank and then channelized to the client. So that is the distribution channel, that they design the product and sell out 1 million policy in one go without any further infrastructure. We did one research assignment that if any insurance company want to launch these products and sell out these products to 1 million individual with 5 benefits, what would be the price? Then price would be $140. Because to sell 1 million policy, you have to open about 1,000 branches. You need about 10,000 staff members. You need at least 500 hospitals, which would be at your panel. You need a lot of infrastructure. Then price will be $140. But by having virtue of the very good distribution channel, the price is about £1. So this is not subsidized by the government. That is the genuine price.
I think to conclude, just to give you a quick example of another company in Africa. In Nairobi, in Kenya, there's Takaful in Africa started as the first Takaful company. And they started basically on the same concept of trying to get the one cow insured, or the weakest farmer possible. And they use that with using technology. First of all, when they have a claim, they use weather satellites to see if a drought hit a spot, so they don't have to go and check on the claims, etc. And they actually use mobile banking to get the premiums and the claims out. So it also reduced the cost on a clear example, as an example. So if you're interested to just look at that, it's a great example of Takaful in Nairobi, in Kenya, which is a very competitive market for Africa too, as there are a lot of conventional. I don't know how well they're doing. Just to conclude, I think the theme was developing Takaful markets. I think we brought different examples of it around. I think one of the main obstacles that we can all agree on is different regulations in different countries definitely does not help the fact that we can go. We don't have a lot of cross-border interactions between things. I think cooperation between insurance companies that are doing Takaful in themselves in this conference can be networked or start working together to start changing that trend on the whole thing. I think one of the main things we're talking about is that there's a whole potential of developing a whole new market. If we're talking about Africa, you're talking about 50% of that population of 600 million who's less than 1% penetration level. And they're blocked because of religious reasons, let's say, as one of the main obstacles. So just defeating that in the first place and then getting into the insurance side or getting them to insure would be another opportunity that's there. The problem of halalifying, I think, is worldwide. It's not something. I think it's the whole view of Islam and the whole thing, and it should be, the thing we're talking about is responsible and ethical versus a religious sort of connotation to sell it. I think the customers worldwide are becoming more conscious, generally. My wife personally buys from Costco, not Walmart, just because of conscious reasons. They pay the employees more, they do this or that. So people are always looking for a more conscious product. With that, I think the time's over, and thank you. I'd like to do another round of applause for the panel. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tarig. And that brings us to the end of the day. We have some snacks and things upstairs. And then, of course, those of you who can, please stay behind for the Takaful Awards dinner at 7:30, which will be back in this room. They need a couple of hours to set this room for us, so we can go upstairs and unwind or network or whatever. Thank you very much, and see you tomorrow, those of you who are not coming tonight. Thank you very much.